ESPN.
Is this how you go to work, Jake Plummer?
It's Jake.
Jake, get a tie. Skinny kid from Arizona State about to do work. Ruben Drones, is this how you go to work?
Well, you dress your mean, Stu. You dress your mean.
369 in 2 games, it's on.
Beautiful day here in Mile High. Beautiful day. We're going to dominate this football team. Let's go take it, baby. Broncos on 3.
Playmakers. Surrounded by playmakers.
That's a nice outfit you got on, baby.
Let's put this thing out. Let's do that. Let's go.
You guys worked your ass off. You fought your ass off.
Clinton breaks the tackle. It's in the loose. He's gone.
47 yards out.
Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos.
Monday night, dog. Prime time television.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS.
There are wild Bengals running around the city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Home can. This is how we roll on Monday Night Countdown. We are in full effect. Stuart Scott alongside Tom Jackson, Ron Jaworski, and first-time Hall of Fame nominee, Michael Irvin. Big ups.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, baby.
Big ups. We'll see you. We'll see you. Thanks. Tonight's game, Tom Jackson's old team against Tom Jackson's hometown team.
That's right. I'm still rooting for the old team that I played for. You know, when you look at this game and people say, do they have a chance to win the football game? Of course they had a chance. If you watched football yesterday, you saw the Rams and the Dolphins. You saw the Seahawks and the Cardinals. The Atlanta Falcons go in as the #1 rush defense in football, 271 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns later. I think we know in this league that anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, Tom, but for anything to happen for Cincinnati, Carson Palmer will have to play better football. Hey, he was the #1 pick in the draft. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. I'm looking to see how well he plays in prime time football.
You probably have a little bit of amnesia, I believe. Think back to 1989. What was the Dallas Cowboys record with Troy Aikman?
1-50.
Thank you very much.
Right.
You know, let the guy learn. Let him get better. Quit picking on him. When you look at the Bengals right now, they are not a complete football team.
Really?
Rushing, giving up 160 yards per game, 4.6 yards per rush. Don't blame the quarterback. He's only one component. They've got a lot of
I
problems.
expect Jaws to fight for the quarterback. That's right. Let's get this show going.
You know, if you live in Cincinnati but you're only there on Monday nights, you would never really know that they had a football team because they have not hosted a Monday night game.
It's been a long time. It's been a while.
Spot for the young fella.
Meanwhile, the
Stop
Broncos... Come on, man.
Let's go.
It appears like, once again, the Broncos will have a 1,000-yard rusher again. I mean, from Terrell Davis to Olandis Gary to Mike Anderson, Clinton Portis. Quentin Griffin looked like he was on his way. Now Ruben Drones. Since Mike Shanahan arrived, Denver's had more individual 100-yard rushing games, 70, than any other team. Half-cut blockers will travel. Ed Werder, speak the word and tell Cincy's D linemen to look out.
Well, Stuart, it's been 12 years since the Bengals played on a Monday night meeting. Starting quarterback Carson Palmer wasn't even a teenager at the time. That's how long it's been since the Bengals were good enough to command the biggest stage in football, if you think they're good enough to be there now. Marvin Lewis told me his team's earned its 1-4 record, but he's told his players they're not 1-4. They're on their way to 2-4. I asked Broncos head coach Mike Shanahan how to best exploit Palmer's inexperience, and he said the best thing you can do against a young quarterback is put him behind early. The matchup to watch when the Broncos' top-ranked defense is on the field tonight. Shanahan has Champ Bailey assigned coverage one-on-one of Chad Johnson, who's keeping his Pepto-Bismol to himself, but he's no less confident, Stu. When I asked him about the matchup with Bailey, he said, well, how does Champ feel about it? Because ain't no defense can stop me.
Ed, thanks a lot. Still ahead on Monday Night Countdown. You know, if Cats really do have 9 lives and the Jags are using them all up every week, we'll show you how the team that knocked the Colts out of first place in the AFC South cannot win easy.
No Randy Moss, no problem. We'll take a look at the Sunday drive that sealed the deal for the Vikings yesterday and why that drive may have catapulted Dante Culpepper to the head of the quarterback class.
Charles, Dante Culpepper did not have his top playmaker yesterday, but I found 5 top playmakers. Find out who's in and who gets a better luck next week, pat on the back.
And be sure and stay tuned for our Week 7 edition of Jacked Up. I'm going to be playing the role of Casey Kasem. You know what that means? I've got the hit list in my pocket.
Plus, Emmitt Smith's new record and Peyton Manning in a sidelines fight. Oh, dog, Monday Night Countdown coming back strong.
Day Night Countdown is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? And in part by Spider, listed on the American Stock Exchange. And Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way.
From the Department of Redundancy Department, the Patriots win again. 6-0 this season, 18 straight in the regular season, 21 straight overall.
They're good.
They're good.
Good. The rest of the league.
Next week, Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Eagles also improved to 6-0 in Cleatown. Donovan McNabb threw 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them to T.O., who does not have B.O. At least he hit the sign.
Eagles are good, too.
Eagles are good. They survived a Jeff Garcia comeback and a David Akers from Louisville kicked a 50-yard field goal in overtime. Record-setting day in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Gashed the #1 ranked run defense in the league.
Jeez.
Falcons, really?
We're back.
8 rushing touchdowns, 271 yards on the ground. NFL record. 8 rushing touchdowns. Priest Holmes had 4. Derek Blaylock had 4. And big ups.
We're back.
To Emmitt Smith. Michael.
Yes, man.
Your boy had his 78th career 100-yard rushing game, breaking the record. Set by Sweetness. He did look young, boy.
Did you see that move he put on that one dude?
Yeah, left him hanging.
I remember watching a lot of those moves.
Emmett ran like he was 23 years old.
It should have been blocking, but I was watching.
I know.
Hey, there are 60 minutes in a football game. I'll do the math. That's 3,600 seconds. So why is it the Jacksonville Jaguars only make use of about 45 of those 3,600 seconds? The Jags beat down the Colts yesterday. 38 ticks left. Game-winning field goal. 5th win of the year. 4 of the 5 have come in the final 45 seconds or less. See, that's the kind of stuff that heart monitors are built for. But as George Smith reports, as long as they're winning.
4 wins in the last minute of the game. The 2-minute warning has become the Jacksonville Jaguars' best friend, and the winning attitude is spreading.
Confidence, just knowing we've been there, knowing we got the guys that can make it happen. Number 7, Byron, believe in him that he's going to lead us there.
I think the teams that make plays at the end of the games win. And so we definitely want to be proactive. We want to go out and make plays to finish games and make plays to win.
When you take games come that close into the line, you just like, man, we never know what's going to happen, so we just keep playing.
Quarterback Byron Leftwich has been the captain of the comebacks, but there have been different co-stars each week. With a 5-2 record, the Jaguars already have matched the number of wins they had all of last season.
You know, we were just trying to get a win last year.
It's kind of hard to find a real reason why, because last year we lost a lot of close ones, and this year we're winning a lot of close ones.
The frantic finishes are fine, but head coach Jack Del Rio says the team's 3-1 record away from home has earned them the title Road Warriors. Stu, they treat each away game like a business trip with one purpose: to win.
George, thanks. We told you 4 of the 5 wins in the final 45 seconds. 2 in Byron Leftwich TD passes, another 1-yard run by Fred Taylor, and Sunday's 53-yard field goal with 38 ticks left by Josh Scobie. Now you're thinking, okay, so the 5th win must have been by a lot. It was kind of like in the last minute when the defense forced a last-minute fumble against Denver. So you can really say that all 5 wins have been in the last minute. Now forget about winning every week, barely. Jacksonville beat Indy in Indy, knocked Indy out of first place in the AFC South. But when you almost lose every week, but still you win, Michael, how good is Jacksonville?
Well, that's how New England wins, right? So Jacksonville is
as good as New England.
Yeah, very good. Now, and the thing is, I love the way Jack Del Rio is handling, and he's a defensive coach, the maturation process of his young quarterback, Byron Leftwich. Now, before he said, hey, Byron, just don't lose the game. We'll win with running the ball and great defense. But last week, he makes a statement. Byron Leftwich has it. What is it? That it that he has. And we all joked about it, Tom. We joked that he didn't have the it that Peyton Manning has, but he goes out, he leans a little bit more on Byron Leftwich. Leftwich comes through. So obviously, I do believe he was right. Byron Leftwich does have it.
Well, part of the it is the Colts defense. You might want to add something to those letters and figure out what their defense is. I think that when you look at this defense that gives up almost 400 yards per game, 22 first downs per game, they allow long drives every game. Third down completion percentage against is almost 50%. Teams run the ball against them. Yesterday, the game plan was Fred Taylor chewing up the clock. They lost time of possession by 10 minutes. That means that Peyton Manning, with one of, and I say it's either the best or the second best, most prolific offense in football, you are unable to get on the field. So you don't have those 12 to 13 drives. You have 9 to 10 drives. Well, Peyton Manning's going on the field thinking, boy, I've got to score every time I'm on the football field in order for us to get a win. Right. They almost do it. He can do it about 4 out of every 6 weeks, but he can't do it every week, Jaws.
He did throw for 300 yards yesterday.
I'm talking about the
Okay, all right. I just wanted to put that out there.
Can I get back to the heartbeat of the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's Byron Leftwich. And you are right on. Jack Del Rio is letting him go out and not only manage games, but allowing him to win football games. And I am really astonished by the way he is playing. Most quarterbacks, you go out there, manage game well, don't make mistakes. Byron is going out and willing victory. For a guy this young to be able to do what he is doing is absolutely incredible. But for long-term success, I believe Jacksonville must get Fred Taylor more involved in their offense. A little bit too much shotgun formation, which limits your types of runs. I think you need to have that balance. I love the B word. That's how you win championships.
B word mean
balance. Balance. I could be Byron. I like that too. Byron with balance.
It's a bit of balance. What's up with the bye week? Indy had an extra week to prepare. 12 penalties for season high for Indy. Very sluggish. Hey, signing up for anger management classes. Boiling point time in the NFL. And get out of my dreams and into my car for Sunday Drive, the trek down the field that won it for the Vikings and why defenses should be even more afraid. No, just make a skirt of Dante right now.
أجمل اللحظات
Sunday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern after Boomer and TJ give you all the highlights on NFL Prime Time, 7:30 Eastern, Sunday on ESPN. Time to bring in Chris Mortensen for the latest news from around the NFL. Mort, what happened on the sidelines yesterday in Indianapolis between Peyton Manning and wideout Reggie Wayne?
Well, Stu, as Jaws can tell Michael Irvin, it's the dirty job of quarterbacks is managing receivers' egos, especially those former U players. But in this instance, what I've heard is that with 33 seconds left and no timeouts, Peyton Manning was trying to get his receivers together and basically tell them, hey, here's what we got to do to get downfield to try to get a field goal. Reggie Wayne didn't hustle over there fast enough for Peyton's likes. And, in fact, had words with him, and Reggie gave him words back, gave him a little shove. But really a heat-of-the-battle moment, no lingering effects there. It happens.
It happens, but it'll be interesting to hear what Michael, Ditka, and Irvin think about it, their opinions later on this show about that incident. Now, the Rams have plenty of reasons to be, let's say, unhappy after their loss to the Dolphins, and QB Mark Bulger especially, let's say, unhappy again with Dolphins defensive end Jason Taylor. What happened there, Mort?
We got 5 minutes left in the game. Mark Bulger throws a touchdown pass to Sean McDonald, and Jason Taylor arrives there right at the last second and hits Bulger, and that's okay. But what happened is he drove Bulger into the ground, and Bulger hurt his shoulder. Now, there was no flag thrown. He yelled at the referee, Johnny Greer, and afterwards, and Mike Martz was also livid on the sidelines, complained about the play, and no question the Rams are calling the league office today, basically saying, review this. We think it's a finable offense. Bulger's going to be okay. They have a bye week. I will say this. Jay Zygmunt, the president of the team, told me, look, Jason Taylor's not that kind of player, but it was that kind of play.
All right, Mort. Steve McNair re-aggravated his sternum injury in the loss to the Vikings. With the Titans 2-5, last place in the AFC South, are changes coming to Tennessee?
No, today at his press conference, Jeff Fisher said he's not blinking. He still expects his team to make a run. But Steve McNair today had a CT scan on that sternum. It showed a hematoma. That's a lot of blood collecting there. Even McNair, who's obviously been described as one of the toughest players in football, is now basically saying, I'm not sure when I should go back out there. They're calling it day to day. So if you don't have Steve McNair, what do you have? You got a lot of injuries on that team. McNair is one of them. You've got 11 rookie players on that 45-man active roster because of the salary cap. And guess what? And guess what, Stu? They're playing in the AFC South. Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee. Who would have thought it would be described as maybe the best division in football?
No one. McNair did say after the game, he said, there's no way that I'm going to be able to heal if I keep going out there and playing every week. What we appreciated more later from you and Bill Parcells, problems in Dallas. Say bye, Mort.
He's gone.
He's gone,
Dante Culpepper, guys, retirement's near. He's lost it. He's done. After throwing 10 touchdown passes the last 2 weeks, he only had 1 on Sunday. Oh, yeah. But there's still our Sunday drive because 1 was enough.
And Stu, it was a thing of beauty. And, you know, Randy Moss, had limited play in that game, only a couple plays. Michael addressed that a little bit later. But, you know, when you don't have your speed guy, you must adapt. And Dante Culpepper adapted on my Sunday drive. He went to the short passing game, was outstanding. On this 1st and 10, you'll see Tennessee basically play their zone coverage. Linebackers now are going to drop deep. They're all going to drop deep and give them the underneath throw. They're going to take away the deep stuff. Well, Dante comes back, sets up nicely in the pocket, and he sees a little check downs. Well, that's the beauty of his patience right there. Take the check down, move the chains. Don't force the football. On this 3rd and 16, the Titans show 8 in the box. You expect blitz? Well, they come with a little safe zone blitz. But Wolford gets off the corner clean. And look at this play by Culpepper, throwing the ball out to Jermaine Wiggins. We got to look at this again and see how Wolford got in. You'll see Dixon peel out to the right side to try to pick up the zone blitz. But Mo Williams peeks back to the inside, allows Wolford to come free on the outside. Dante senses that, steps up, and this 6'5", 265-pound quarterback just flicks it to Wiggins. Now, 4th and 6, another beautiful play by Culpepper. You think he's going to run because he sees the edge, but here's the patience, the maturity. Throws the ball to Nate Burleson, 14 yards and a 1st down. Take a look at it again. Sets up in a pocket. He sees the linebacker, Cassell, coming in off the outside. However, Mo Williams will check down. That will take Cassell out of there. Culpepper then sees the opening, takes advantage of it. 1st and 10, a little bubble screen out there. Kelly Campbell, hey, one-on-one coverage, but here's the key. Watch Nate Burleson get the block. Receivers blocking downfield, Michael. You got to love it. 11 yards on the play. 2nd and goal. Touchdown pass to Robinson in the end zone. But watch the coverage. It's in and out coverage on Kelly Campbell on the inside. Now, Culpepper reads it, goes over the top for the touchdown. Tremendous awareness. There is no quarterback playing better football than Dante Culpepper is playing right now. Whoa. Without Randy Moss, he has taken his football team, put the team on his shoulders and said, I'm going to win the football game. We don't necessarily need those explosive plays down the field. In fact, 13 of his 24 completions were to backs or tight ends. He managed the game beautifully, showed great maturity.
Yeah, you said without Randy Moss. Randy Moss did play 2 plays.
Yes, and he didn't look good on the 1 play he came on the field. I saw him. He didn't look like.
That's not my point. My point is he played 2 plays where he knew he couldn't play to keep the streak going. You're a receiver. Would you want to keep your streak going without playing?
Like that, Tom?
Yes.
Oh, most definitely I would. Most definitely. Yes, I would. Right. Any kind of way I could. Yes, I would.
You're sick.
We talked about the Tennessee Titans. Derek Mason said, we're like 53 guys nailed up in a coffin right now. He said, and each guy has to grab a hammer and bang his way out.
Get out.
They are hurting. Still ahead on Monday Night Countdown. Hope you like holding the clipboard and making funny hand motions. Which starting QBs will be standing next to their coach wearing the headset and watching the action real soon? And can't all get along? Apparently Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne can't. Who's to blame for that sideline show? The playmaker and the coach take sides next.
Sunday Drive is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
This is a story about Mike, right to Super Bowl champions really tight. Open mic night, Hall of Famer 1988, Hall of Fame nominee. Got to give you some more love. I know we did it earlier in the show, but
appreciate that.
Got to do that. All right, guys. Peyton Manning. I mean, more consecutive 4,000-yard seasons than any man ever. The man, right?
The man.
How you gonna let one of your wide receivers push you on the sidelines on national TV?
Can I start this?
Yeah, you can
Reggie
start it.
Wayne is from the U. Get me
From
back
the U.
over here. Reggie Wayne is from the U, and I've said this on the shows numerous times. There are two people on the sidelines that are off limits to everybody. That's the head coach, number one, and the quarterback, number two, Reggie. Hey, come on, buddy. You were wrong. I don't care what he says to you. I don't care what the situation was. You never go after the quarterback. He has 22 people. He has to know where 22 people are at all times. He has enough on his head. You never go at the quarterback.
Well, I think it was out of frustration that he did it. He caught 2 balls in the game for 24 yards. Stokely caught 7 balls. Harrison caught 5. I think he was just frustrated. He felt like he wasn't, and I don't know what he said to him, but I thought Peyton did the right thing. Hey, you don't aggravate. Walk away from it.
Walked away.
So
Walked
what?
away.
I don't care if you call me a jerk, a moron, or what. Just walk away from it, because in the heat of the game, those things happen, and they're forgotten.
Everything.
They're forgotten.
Yeah, but Coach, wait, when you say he's upset, Coach, he has 462 yards right now.
I know.
He has more yards than Marvin Harrison.
I know that.
This man that you just shoved is about to make you a lot of money. Why would I bother him and make him hesitate one inch in a bit about passing me that football?
Football is football. Emotions, intense arguments. Everybody argues with people on the field. It's like a family. Why is it not good to argue with the quarterback?
It's competitive. It's the competitive nature of the animal.
Let me tell you something.
You are competitive as anybody. Now, I don't know if you've ever went to the quarterback and said, hey,
Never ever.
throw me the ball.
All the time I did that. And, and there's a lot of times Troy's been wrong on the field as he come after me. Now, why do I never go at him?
Why do you never go at the quarterback?
I don't want to make him hesitate about throwing the football. I don't want to make him think he's wrong in any way. I need him to feel free to pull that trigger every time it's time to pull the trigger. So I have to have his head is clear, and he has always think he's right. You were right. Whatever happened, you're right.
Are you saying that the psyche of a quarterback is more fragile than anybody else on the field?
Anybody on the football field.
Would you agree?
And I got to let him know.
I have to say that's true, because, I mean, he's got the most responsibility of anybody on the football team except the coach. I mean, he's got to run that offense. And especially in Peyton Manning's case, nobody. I mean, he has more responsibility than anybody in football.
Well, Peyton Manning, more responsibility. The man
agreed.
You agreed.
See?
Mike's agreed.
Why are you looking at us? What are you looking at? What you doing that for? What's wrong with agreeing with me?
Peyton, 17 touchdown passes, leads the AFC, and the next closest person only has 6. So we ain't gonna push, pushing nobody. I ain't pushing my man, my Mikes. I'm sorry about that. My bad. My bad, Reggie. My bad. 32 teams in the NFL. Carson Palmer's completion percentage is 32nd. What does he need to do to improve that? Ed Werder back in Cincinnati with more on Carson.
Well, Stuart, Marvin Lewis, the Bengals head coach, is taking a lot of criticism for his offseason decision to bench Jon Kitna and start Carson Palmer, particularly with the Bengals at 1-4, and Palmer clearly struggling to learn the position with 8 interceptions. I asked him tonight how committed he is to having Palmer remain his starting quarterback, and Lewis's response was, I don't know. We can't be losing games because of it. But he pointed out he didn't bench Jon Kitna at 1-4 last year because he didn't think he deserved it, and he doesn't think Palmer deserves it yet. A significant injury development that may help Palmer tonight. Peter Warrick, the wide receiver, according to Bob Holtzman, talking to some of the Bengals coaches, has been cleared to play tonight, Stuart. He won't start. They're concerned about his conditioning. He's been out for 2 weeks with a lower leg injury that earlier this week the Bengals thought was a fracture. He won't return kicks, but he'll play in the offense.
All right, Ed, we appreciate it. Peter Warwick, not the fastest guy in the world, but a quick.
Really?
Never mind. He works out with Michael.
I work with Peter.
It is time to go 3 and out. One topic, 3 downs, and then get off the field. The topic tonight, quarterbacks in the NFL on the hot seat.
I think Drew Bledsoe up in Buffalo, and J.P. Lossman is going to get his chance to play if Drew continues to play the way he's playing. This is a 12-year veteran. I always talk about him holding on to the ball too long, but also the decisions down in the red zone. When you have a chance to score, you have to take advantage, and I think this is one of those situations where, you know, boy, is the quarterback hurting the football team. I think right here the quarterback is hurting the football team.
Yeah, Tommy, I look at Mark Brunell down in Washington, and I think he is on the hot seat. You know, Mark's a system quarterback, but right now he's out of sync with the system with the Redskins. He's only completing 51% of his passes, a minuscule 5.4 per attempt, and their offense is ranked 28th. I thought Mark would come in, get the job done. He hasn't. I'll tell you, it's going to be tough. Joe Gibbs might have to start looking to Patrick Ramsey.
Well, guys, I am going back to Cincinnati, right where I need to be. And I'm talking about Carson Palmer. Now, and I'm not talking about him being on the hot seat as far as losing his job forever. I'm talking about this organization put him on a hot seat after the Cincinnati Bengals coming off an 8-8 season, almost making the playoffs. Now you put in a young guy. I don't care what goes wrong with this football team, who's to blame, who's not playing well. Don't you understand that this young guy will get to blame? And I'm just saying they have to be careful how they handle him right now because the psyche of him is very delicate, and we can lose this guy like we lost so many other quarterbacks in Cincinnati.
Too much of the blame, too much of the credit. You know, Jaws says it all the time. I think, look at the beginning of this show. When Ed Werder asked Coach Shanahan, how do you best attack Carson Palmer? He didn't say anything about Carson Palmer. He said, we need to get a lead. Right. That's a reference to the defense.
But it's also
the defense playing as badly as they are. I think that Coach Lewis will make a change if, in fact, he sees clearly that Carson Palmer is the guy losing these games. I don't think that's the case.
Well, but when you say he says he needs to get a lead, maybe he says that because he knows if I get a lead, it takes the running out of the football game, and I know Carson Palmer cannot beat me throwing the football. And I also heard him talk about Coach Lewis.
Can't beat you throwing the football.
We're not talking about a lot of teams right now. We're talking about Cincinnati and Carson Palmer.
Yeah, but Michael, as I study the tape, Carson Palmer right now is at a crossroads. He is not playing as well now as he was early in the season. So now can he play through his troubles right now and evolve into a solid quarterback?
So
this is a tough time for him.
It's messing with the psyche of
Absolutely.
Yes,
no, that's all I
You got a guy on the bench who threw for 3,500 yards last year, 26 touchdowns and only 15 interceptions.
But he can't take you to the Super Bowl. If your aspirations are to go to the Super Bowl, this is
right on, Tom.
You don't know if they want to go to the Super Bowl.
We don't know that he can't take us. We don't know that he can't take us.
You have to be able to make every throw to go.
We don't know that he can't take us. Trent Dilfer win. Okay, you take
Carson Palmer gets to answer his critics tonight and try and make a Monday night memory. Speaking of, how about this fat Monday night memory brought to you by IBM?
It was a crucial game for the Broncos, who were fighting to stay alive in the AFC. But the Bears took the early lead until luck fell into the Broncos' hands. With momentum in Denver's favor, Chicago turned to William the Refrigerator Perry.
Here he comes! Boom, 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 boom. Perry lost the football.
Elway and the Broncos capitalized, edging out the Bears 31-29. Elway would win the league MVP that year, leading the Broncos to their second straight AFC title.
Monday Night Memories are brought to you by IBM, the official on-demand business consultants for the NFL.
You think blitzing past 320-pound O-lineman is tough? Try getting blitzed by 8 kids. We'll pay a visit to Broncos defensive tackle Luther Ellis's crib and find out if 8 really is enough.
We've always felt like adoption was a way to give back because God has truly blessed us. I mean, we have more than we'll ever need.
Attention, running backs. Please get traded to Denver. Yo, is it the runner or the system that has Bronco back after Bronco back, piling up the yards week after week? His Pepto-Bismol stunt left him feeling queasy last week. Can he get healthy this week on the national stage? We're in the bingo film room with Chad Johnson to watch him break down tonight's fat battle with Champ Bailey. And if Chad comes up a chump against Champ tonight, he'll be hearing all about it all game long. We've got the bucking Broncos, DB wired for sound.
Come on, ref! Hey, you know I'm gonna get one. I got to get another.
And I always feel like somebody's crushing me. TJ knows how to rock well when it comes to delivering the hits. Who had trouble getting out of bed Monday morning? We'll get all jacked up ahead. Countdown. I'm going to read you a quote from Bill Parcells. He loves to say it, you are what your record says you are. Well, this week in Hurry Up Offense, we're not going to let you off the hook. We're going to ask them, these guys, teams, are they as good as their record, or are they worse than their record? Or are they better? Better or worse? All right, 90 seconds on the clock. New York Giants, better or worse than 4-2?
Worse than their record.
They're as good or better.
They're worse than their record.
They're
You waffling again? They're worse than their record.
This team has talent everywhere. Wide receiver, running back. Okay, go.
Personal foul, too much soliloquy. Dallas Cowboys, 2-4, better or worse?
Worse than their record.
Their record. They are exactly what their record is.
You can't. It's better or worse.
They're better. They're better than a 2-4 football team. I think they're better than 2-4. Yes.
They're worse than their record.
St. Louis Rams, 4-3, better or worse?
They're much better than that record. If they can get Mike,
they're a better team. They're a better team than their record. But they coach worse coach than their record.
Well, their offense is better, but their defense has not come to the party. Their defense has not come.
Get off the fence.
Come on.
Which one?
Better or worse, John?
They're worse.
There you are.
Seattle Seahawks, 3-3, better or worse?
They're better than their record. They're better.
They have no heart, man. This team quitting right now. They quit yesterday in Arizona.
8 quarters and 8 minutes ago, we had Seattle in the Super Bowl. Right now.
No, you guys had Seattle in the Super Bowl.
You were kind of on board.
No,
we're getting you in there.
Better or worse?
Worse.
They're worse.
Worse. Detroit Lions,
right now.
4-2, better or worse? Detroit, 4-2.
They're worse than their record.
Worse than their record, but they are executed.
They're
worse than their record.
They're worse, but they're finding a way to win.
Green Bay Packers, 3-4, better or worse?
They're better than their record.
Better.
Yeah,
better.
You got to win it all.
All you got to do is listen to me. I got these.
New Orleans Saints. Well, clock's done.
They're better.
I was going to ask you about the Saints, but I'm not.
I got it in.
Chris Mortensen rejoins us to talk about the 2-4 Dallas Cowboys, who are better or worse, depending upon who you listen to. Mort, when Bill Parcells took full responsibility for the Cowboys' problems, how did it get to that point in Dallas that he's going to take responsibility for all those problems?
Yeah, it's one of those my fault lines, and really what it comes down to is they won 10 games last year in Parcells' first year. But what they did was they started off 5-1. They've been 7-10 since that point, and what it did, it created an illusion for everybody else in the organization. When Parcells took that job, he did not like the defense. And even though the defense is what did well under Dave Campbell, the previous coach, it was an undersized defense. So he gave it a year, and in fact, the defense played well last year. Now the defense, only 6 teams in the NFL have given up more points than the Dallas Cowboys, and Parcells did not address it in the offseason.
So how does Parcells fix this problem?
It's going to spend some of Jerry Jones' cash, but it's going to happen after the season. There's no question that there's going to be a remake of that defense. He likes guys who are bigger and certainly equally as fast as they have right now. That defense is undersized. There's no question he's going to take Jerry Jones' money, spend it, something he resisted this offseason, and change it dramatically. And as far as the quarterback thing goes, everybody wants to talk about Vinny Testaverde, and I'm guilty of it too. He's had 3 300-yard games. Sometime they're going to go to Tony Romo and Drew Henson, the young quarterbacks, but he doesn't want to do it right now because the defense is making the offense play come from behind football.
All right, no question he's going to fix the defense. Is there any question whether or not Parcells will be back in Big D next season?
There's a question if Jerry Jones is not on the same page with him. In other words, as long as Jerry Jones says, yeah, Bill, I'm on the same page, let's go remake this thing the way you're talking about, spend my money, I think Parcells will come back. If there's resistance, who knows?
All right, Mort, we appreciate the knowledge, and we will see you later. We're not sure, but this could be a dinner conversation around Denver D. Lyman and Luther Ellis's house. Isabel, come on to eat dinner, and tell your sister Sophia, and your sister Olivia, and your brothers Christian, Isaiah, Jonah, and Noah. Hey, Dad, what about Caden? Oh, yeah. Tell your brother Caden he can come eat dinner, too. Ellis, the two-time Pro Bowler, is a real-life Dick Van Patten. 8 kids, 4 adopted, a 12-passenger van for school, dance lessons, soccer, karate, and gymnastics. Backstage is really back home. Alex Flanagan found out.
Christian, I go to your sister. Yeah, the morning's very chaotic.
We come down here and start making just massive breakfast, either 8 bowls of cereal, 8 bowls of oatmeal, 8 plates of waffles.
It's hard just because you have to find, please eat. You're trying to be nice, trying to be loving. Please eat, get dressed, go brush your teeth, get your socks on. And getting out to the van is probably the hardest part. No, Caden, no, come on. Our big 12-passenger van, our people mover.
I mean, poor Luther's got guys, teammates driving up in a Ferrari and stuff. He's pulling up in a 12-passenger
my 12-passenger van, exactly.
So why, when you had 3 children and could have more children, why did you choose to adopt?
We've always felt like adoption was a way to give back because God has truly blessed us. I mean, we've had more than we'll ever need, and we look at it as an opportunity to help someone else out. We need a bigger horse. The farmer goes galloping away with all my children. Away they go.
In choosing to adopt, you adopted kids of mixed races. Why did you do that?
It didn't matter to us at all. I think just with our cultural background, maybe it made it a little bit easier for us to be open to kids of different races.
Is it difficult to love an adopted child compared to your own child?
No, and I be honest, that's a great question because I was worried about that. Our first time we went to pick up Isaiah, I was like, how's this going to be? But as soon as they put him in my arms, I just fell in love with him. I mean, this is my son. Thank you. Good job. What do you want, Princess? Good morning.
What's the most challenging part about having 8 kids?
I think for me, it's finding that time to give each one of them that individual quality time. And sometimes, they'll be like, when can we go on a date? Or they'll ask us, like, when can I have some alone time with you?
What do they know about your job?
Really not much. I mean, my oldest son, Caden, actually, when we were in Detroit, he thought I was a basketball player. So it was funny because he was in school one day with one of his friends, and one of his friends, his dad plays for the Pistons. And he was like, oh, my dad plays too. He's like, what team? He goes, for the Detroit Lions. He's like, he didn't understand that I played football. But the older kids.
When did he find out?
That afternoon when he came home, when I picked him up from school, he's like, Dad, do you play football or basketball?
Do you feel different from a lot of the guys you're playing with, especially the 20-something guys?
There is a difference there because especially younger guys, they're still in a single scene and they want to be out there and having fun and stuff. But most of the time, I just know that this is my legacy. This is what I'm leaving here on this earth. This is the one thing I can impact.
Good stuff. Yep. Hey, you cannot pay your way into the Playmakers Club. You got to play your way into the Playmakers Club. Michael Irvin on the other side of the rope taking names, who's in, who's out, what's ahead, and you'll see his suit. And what's the real reason for the Patriots' record-breaking and then some run? John Madden on why it's now less about running and passing and more about head games.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS.
Welcome back to Monday Night Countdown. Here in Cincinnati, Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis told me that to prepare for the Denver running game, he went back and looked at some of his tape from his days as defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. Of particular interest this Super Bowl year, they played the Bronco running game in the playoffs, held up to 18 carries for 42 yards, and then the next season, 24 carries for 61 yards. Lewis told me he was looking for clues on how to defend the perimeter running game in particular. He said he doesn't think Reuben Drones is a special player, Stewart, but he said he runs every play like he's playing for his job.
I'll tell you what, 97 career yards entering this season. This, not a special player, Reuben Drones, 193 and 176 the last 2 weeks. That's kind of special. Speaking of special, How about our special Hall of Fame nominee? Playmaker.
Hey, guys, now listen here. I want to say this. Deion called me. He says, Michael, it was only 2 interceptions. I only returned 1 of them for a touchdown. Do not put me on your playmaker list because I have something better coming this season. So I honored his wishes. Here are my top 5 guys from the week. Number 5. We'll be starting out with Ahman Green. Green exploded yesterday against my Dallas Cowboys. He had 15 carries for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. Folks, that's 10.8 yards a carry. If I give him the ball on first down, when he give it back to me, it's first down again. That's what that means. Byron Leftwich is number 4. 15 straight completions in the first half. Another great game for Byron Leftwich. And another one of those great come-from-behind wins. 23 or 30 for 300 yards. You talking about this young guy is not playing great football, Jaws. He's playing great quarterbacking. That's right. Number 3, Donovan McNabb. There you go, Jaws. That's a guy you love. Philly, 376 pass yards yesterday, 4 TDs. Of course, he had to throw to my main man, T.O. Tom, you see that pass to T.O.?
Yeah, I saw it.
T.O. went in there. He ripped up the sign. Don't put the sign up if you don't want it ripped up. Yep, T.O., great job. Donovan McNabb, great job. Now, let's give him an all-out praise. This man is continuously breaking records. His 78 100-yard rushing day yesterday, breaking Sweetness record. Emmett, I had to make you number 2, baby. But my number 1 playmaker. Yeah, I know I sit here and I'm looking all fine, but who says I have no love for the fat boys? The offensive linemen of the Kansas City Chiefs. I give them all the love. Along with Tony Gonzalez and Tony Richardson, these guys had 8 rushing touchdowns yesterday against Atlanta. Folks, that's an NFL record. 8 touchdowns, Atlanta. You should be ashamed of yourself. Stu?
Giving up the love to the fat boy. Michael. Yo, can a brother get some Pac-10 love? Tonight, 2 former Pac-10 Offensive Players of the Year, Jake Plummer and Carson Palmer, doing work. 1996, Arizona State for Plummer, 2002, USC for Palmer. Now, something to think about for all y'all that accuse folks of having an East Coast bias. John Madden has no bias whatsoever, especially when he and I get together, like we did a little earlier, and talk football.
Well, you know, you always think of the Broncos and Mike Shanahan, and they're going to be an offensive team. And they're going to be a running team, and they're going to do everything off the run. But the big improvement this year is the defense. You know, last year in the playoffs, remember that game against the Colts? They couldn't stop anything. They couldn't cover anyone. And they figured if they're going to take it to the next step, they have to improve their defense. And boy, did they do that. They went out and got Champ Bailey in a trade. They got John Lynch as a free agent, and their number 1 draft choice was DJ Williams. And now they're the number 1 defense in the league. So they always have offense. They're going to be good there. But if they're going to take that next step, they had to improve their defense, and they've done it.
And Tom Jackson told me that he was going to come out of retirement and play some linebacker next to Denver's speedy linebacker. So just wanted to make that note right there for you, John.
Well, DJ Williams already has that job.
Oh, TJ, sorry. Hey, Bill Parcells called yesterday his low point in Dallas. At what point in time does a team like Dallas and a coach like Parcells start pointing to the future and preparing for next season?
I don't think you do anything like that until you're mathematically out of it. You know, I mean, if you look, they're 2-4, that's only 6 games. There's still 10 games to play. And, you know, there's no option to quit. There's no option here to throw it in. I think you just keep battling. I mean, if you just look historically, there's a lot of teams that start off 2-4 and still make playoffs, or 2-4 and still come out with a pretty good season. I think that's what they have to think of, and that's what Bill Parcells will do. I mean, they have to fix their defense. That's the thing.
Speaking of defense, a team that's got defense and offense, New England. Now, every team thinks, you know, we can beat these guys. And every team so far, for the past 21, has not been able to. What is the mental part about trying to beat this team?
You know, I don't know that every team believes that anymore. You know, I think the first thing that is a team believes that they can win. You know, the team believes in themselves. The second thing, the fans believe in them, and they go to the game and they know that their team is going to win. Then there's a third phase, and maybe the Patriots are there, where the opponents believe that they're going to win. And they know even if they get ahead by a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, they know looming right around the corner is defeat. And I think I don't know if the Patriots are there right now, but I'll tell you what, I think they're awfully close to being there.
All right, Kansas City was there for a moment for a game yesterday. An NFL record 8 rushing touchdowns in one game. Now, how much momentum can you take from that one game to the next week and the rest of the season?
You know, if you look at that running and those 8 touchdowns, I think it's all about the offensive line. We saw them against the Ravens, you know, and remember the offensive line and the job that they did. I mean, Kansas City has the best offensive line in football.
Well, 4 rushing touchdowns by 2 different men. That, too, was an NFL record. John, as always, we appreciate the knowledge, man. Have fun tonight.
Okay. Thanks, Stuart.
All Madden. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service.
Go get some popcorn because it's almost time to watch a scary film with Chad Johnson. The star of the film, Bronco DB Champ Bailey. Will it be another horror show for Chatty Chad?
It's 3 things in life that's certain. Death, taxes, and 85 will always be open.
And how is it that they put a Broncos uniform, they put on a Broncos uniform, they become Jim Brown, Walter Payton, and Barry Sanders wrapped up in one? We revealed the secret to Mike Shanahan's success.
Countdown, delivered by UPS.
It's not just 4-time Pro Bowler Champ Bailey. It's Champ Bailey on the Visa Skycam getting ready for tonight's game. A shot you won't find like any other. Chris Mortensen rejoins us now. Drew Bledsoe hit rock bottom for the Bills yesterday. He committed 5 turnovers in the loss to the Ravens. How much longer will Bledsoe start in Buffalo?
You know, I think he's going to have at least another month. I mean, right now they still believe Bledsoe gives him the best chance to win. He's working with a new coaching staff, new scheme. This is a team that they were hoping to be able to run the football with Travis Henry and Willis McGahee. It hasn't been like they don't have any rushing touchdowns, but there's no question that Bledsoe has to play better. They think Bledsoe's played well enough to win in 5 of his starts, but he's going to have to put a few more of those together, or else J.P. Losman, their #1 draft pick, who broke his leg this summer, he's starting to come back, he's starting to practice, but he's probably at least a month away from being ready to play.
Can Kansas City just kind of loan some of their rushing touchdowns to Buffalo? They can just use them for a while.
They're 8-0 just in one day.
Shifting gears with University of Florida coach Ron Zook fired today. There's a lot of talk about Steve Spurrier possibly returning to his old job and his alma mater. What do you hear about Spurrier's future plans?
Well, you hear a lot. I tell you what, I've talked to some very reliable sources who said there has definitely been contact between Florida and Spurrier, and that Spurrier has basically opened the door receptive to returning to that school. On the other hand, I've spoken to another source a little while ago, Stu, who says, hey, he knows it's not wise to go back and try this again. So I think you're going to see a lot of discussion in the next couple of days. I do believe, as far as him returning to Florida, that we'll hear something in the next week. Otherwise, he is willing, I'm hearing, willing to still look at the NFL.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Mort. I mean, he's talking about going to Florida. People are talking about him going to Florida. Is there any NFL team that wants him?
Well, listen, the Miami Dolphins may have an opening at the end of the year if Dave Wanstead doesn't turn this around. Ron Wolf, the former general manager of the Green Bay Packers, who was almost hired by a consultant by the Dolphins, I talked to him a little while ago, and he said, listen, I would do my due diligence on what happened in Washington with the Redskins and Spurrier. I think if you put the right support staff around him, the right coaching staff, that this guy is still a creative genius and can win in the NFL. So that's still something we have to watch. And by the way, last coach to beat Bill Belichick and the Patriots was Steve Spurrier.
There you have it. Week 4 last year. Mort, we appreciate it. Speaking of coaching geniuses, Marvin Lewis once guided the Baltimore Ravens to the best single-season defense that any team ever had. He's had success going against Denver's running game. He's got some more hopes he can have some more tonight. Here's Ed Werder.
Well, Stuart, even though Terrell Davis is the only 2,000-yard rusher in Broncos history, Mike Shanahan's offensive system basically ensures they get that kind of productivity out of the position every year. And it's not as if Shanahan exploits a single great runner. In fact, 9 different players have had 100-yard rushing games under Shanahan, none of them a first-round pick. Tonight, previously obscure Reuben Jones is the starter after running for 369 yards the last 2 games. Is it the system or is it the players?
I don't think anybody can step back there and do that. You can't take anything away from those guys because they are talented. They are very talented. But I think our system enhances their talent.
But when it starts to come in, people say, well, okay, anybody can run in that offense. Now that's when I really got to say, hold up, stop. You guys have taken this too far.
A crucial element in the Broncos system, small but mobile offensive linemen who engage in a zone area blocking scheme. Rather than individually taking on larger defenders, the Broncos move laterally in a group and block the first defender to move into their area. And everybody on the field blocks.
I make sure that the guys understand that you're a receiver by title only. You play football. You do whatever you have to do to make sure that that back gets those big yardage. You know, the linemen get him to the backers. His ability gets him past the backers. We get him to the end zone.
I think our guys really understand, though, for a running back to go the distance, you got to have a wide receiver blocking downfield. That's the only way they're going to get the big plays.
Meanwhile, the running back, whoever that might be at the time, must be disciplined in his approach. He must make one hard, decisive cut to get downfield.
One thing all of them had the same, is they all hit the hole the same, hard. We don't really have a whole bunch of tippy-toe backs.
Make it read what cut down here. We live off that, and we believe in that. And if you do that, if you press along the scrimmage and you do that, I mean, the things you can do in this system is unbelievable.
The most unbelievable thing that Shanahan has done with this system is hit a huge jackpot in trading Clinton Portis, who had 3,000 yards in just 2 seasons. Shanahan swapped him for Champ Bailey, the cornerback who's helped the Broncos lead the NFL in defense. And TJ, even without Portis, they still have, entering the week, the best rushing game in the NFL.
Yeah, Ed, and I think that's the surprising thing when you think about this football team. And people talk about the way they scheme, the way they rail people at the line of scrimmage. But I think most important is the loss of Alex Gibb. I think that everyone thought it would impact this team negatively, but instead they've gotten to be a better team. And I think that's a credit not only to Mike Shanahan, but his offensive line coach, Rick Dennison, as well.
And Tom, when you look at it, it's not just who do you put in that running back. They don't care. I think this is strictly the offensive linemen saying we will be one of the best groups in this NFL, no matter who you put back here. And, folks, that's just attitude. Jimmy Johnson always said running the football is attitude. And that offensive line, they have the right attitude.
21,060 yards rushing as a team since Mike Shanahan arrived. That's the kind of success that can open up your entire offense. Jaws, how exactly does it open it up for the skinny QB from Arizona State?
Stu, when you look at Mike Shanahan, he's one of the best designers of offense in all of football, and an excellent play caller as well. And he plays to the strengths and weaknesses of his football players. And Jake Plummer is not the kind of quarterback that it's going to drop back in the pocket and beat you throwing the football down the field. Shanahan knows that. So what he does is use a lot of bootlegs, waggles, nakeds, things to get him on the outside away from the rush. Now, I broke down last week's game against the Raiders. Jake was called 21 times to throw the football. 1 time he ran, so 20 passes. 5 times he dropped straight back. He was 2 of 5 for 14 yards. When there was movement, he had a really big day. He was 9 of 15, 176 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he was outstanding with his play action.
It's no secret that the Broncos' offense is generated from the running game. When opposing defenses start putting too much emphasis towards stopping the run, big play opportunity is created in the passing game. Here, the Broncos will run a post-dig combination, with Darius Watts running a dig and Ashley Lee running a post. From the end zone angle, watch quarterback Jake Plummer. His play fake to running back Tatum Bell not only affects the linebacker in underneath coverage, but it slows down the rush of the Raiders' front 4. Now, back to the snap to see how the routes develop downfield. When Plummer comes off the play action, he stares down Watts, running his dig across the field. Look at how that affects cornerback Charles Woodson and safety Ray Buchanan. They both jump Watts' route, leaving Lee plenty of room to run his post to the middle of the field. And now watch the route by Lee. After pushing his route vertically, he gives a hard stick to the outside. That creates separation from the defensive back, who's now in a trail position with no help in the middle of the field. With design movement off the running game, Plummer is at his best. he's able to recognize the coverage and deliver a perfect ball for an easy Broncos touchdown.
Jake's mobility not only breaks down a defense in the passing game, he can break down the defense with the running game. His ability to get outside forces the defense to play sideline to sideline. That creates seams in the defense. Break it down, Stu.
All right, here's the thing about Jake Plummer. Criticized a lot, yes. But with Denver as a starter, he's 14-3, Tommy. What makes him so effective?
Well, as Josh says, the first thing he has is great athleticism, and I think that Coach Shanahan makes great use of it. Let's do a demonstration here of what he will do at least
quarterback.
At least 15 times tonight. You play linebacker. I'm going to play my old position.
Play your old position.
Linebacker. I'm going to play contain end. Michael is going to be the tight end coming across on the drag.
Don't you think?
Jaws in the role of Jake Plummer. What happens at least 15 times a game is that Jake will fake flow away, hoping that the end will flow down with that flow. He gets a free release on the bootleg to the outside, and he puts the linebacker in a tremendous bind. This is in the passing game.
And there's
Michael, tell him why.
That you can do that will be the right decision.
Because I don't know whether to
as he rolls out, if you attack him, he throws the ball to me over your head. If you stay back with me, as he rolls out, you stay back here with me, he gets to run for probably the first down.
That's the fastest Jaws has run in a long time.
Yeah.
Reset, guys. What the end needs to do, and you have to be disciplined, is you want to contain. Flow away, I get as deep as that football, and with Jake, that's pretty deep. He's going to get to about 10 yards. Now it becomes a battle of athleticism. The end versus Jake. Force him to release the ball quickly. Take that linebacker out of that bind. Out of that bind. You get to make your decision as quickly as I make him make a decision.
He's got to make it quick. Now,
that's correct.
If he throws it, even if he completes it, why is your job not done yet?
Oh, because I want to intimidate Jake. Jake can be erratic, so I want to make sure that when Jake releases that football, I'm willing to come in, take my shot on him, let him know that every time you get outside this pocket, you're going to have to take a lick. You know, Jake can be erratic. This comes as news to the NFL, but Jake can be erratic.
So you would take a personal foul?
I might take 2.
Just to hit him.
To send a message.
Danny Cannell, get ready.
Jake Plummer, for his career, he's thrown more interceptions than touchdown passes. But with the Broncos, 25 touchdown passes, only 12 picks.
I love looking at
there he is. Guy signed as an unrestricted free agent in March of 2003. Doing some work, Jake Plummer. He only weighed like $170, though. Soaking wet. When he's not dreaming up new ways to rile up his opponents like sending them, you know, Pepto-Bismol in the mail, he's spending the night watching Game Field. Chad shows us how he'll out-champ Champ Bailey tonight. And if Chad don't get the job done against Champ, you might want to insert a couple of earplugs. Champ Bailey, permission to speak freely granted.
Come on, try me like that. How they gonna try me like that? Give me that. Give me that.
We'll hear from both sides of the Champ-Chad matchup ahead on Monday Night Countdown. Don't go anywhere.
Playmaking made easy. Brought to you by Staples. That was easy.
From the Department of I Bet You Had No Idea, bingo wideout Chad Johnson's number 85 jersey is one of the NFL's top 5 sellers. On the real, a Pro Bowler from a year ago who received 90 catches and gave $100,000 back to the NFL for uniform violation and excessive celebration fines. I mean, yeah, man is a character, guarantees wins, sends opposing DBs bottles of Pepto-Bismol, but on Inside Slant, we also find out Chad Johnson is a student of the game.
I got a trivia question. It's a new year, same old question. How do you stop 85? There's 3 things in life that's certain. Death, taxes, and 85 will always be open. If you ever look at any film from game 1 to 5, they will slow me down. But the thing is, you're not gonna ever stop me. Right here. I'm really not gonna play the muscle game with you, trying to wrestle with you out there. Man, I'm gonna beat you out your break to beat you at the line. And I'm always winning a transition. No matter what they do, I'm gonna beat them out of transition regardless. That's it, I got them. God did not create anyone on this earth to be able to get out their break. It's humanly impossible for any DB to be going full speed and be able to stop on a dime with any receiver. Uh-oh. Really can't compare Champ to anybody else. Champ, you know, he got all the tools, man. He's the best in the NFL. Everything you do, you gotta be technique sound, whether it's releasing, can't give anything away in your routes. Everything got to be right. This is something we'll be doing Monday night. We got trips, 3 receivers at the top, 1 at the bottom. I'm sure it's gonna be Champ and I down here by ourselves. Right now against Denver, we'd probably check to a deep route. That's Champ on the island all by itself. I gotta win, period.
Come on. I want you right there. All right. That's why I need you.
I got to win within the first 5 yards to be successful, period. It's like playground back in the days, in the middle of the street, just can't catch.
Looking long left side, looking for Chad that side. Chad's out there. Got it! Yes! Touchdown! Wow, what a play!
Here we go. We got something else Denver doing. We got 2x2. 2 receivers at the top, 2 receivers at the bottom. If I'm at the top, Champ will probably be following me again. He's half a man inside. He's sitting inside. He's basically giving away the fade route. Most importantly, with somebody as good as Champ, you got to take him where he don't want to be. For one, he taking the inside away, so you want to force him on down in there. Make him think you want to go inside, and then go ahead and take it back over top.
Play your game, all right?
Yes,
don't flinch. Keep the smiling on you.
All right, baby.
All right, keep the smiling.
Yeah. We never know what's gonna happen. Watching film, hopefully, what I've watched is what I get. It's a whole lot of doubters out here. You know that, right? You gotta handle it. They all watching tonight. You know that, right?
You got business to handle.
All right.
That's why you go for this.
Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, it doesn't make any difference what night it is. You always approach every game the same way. You don't change anything because of the stage you're getting ready to play on. Everybody be able to see what Chad Johnson is all about, what all the trash talking is about. Just got to go in there and put on the show.
Yo, Chad Johnson, you want to be a man? Come ball with us on the Staples Playmaking Made Easy field. This is where we go to work every night. Chad Johnson talked about his matchup with Champ Bailey, probably the most intriguing matchup of the night. Now,
Yes.
Champ, 19 interceptions in his 6-year career. He would have had a lot more, but people don't even go his way a lot. Michael, what makes Champ Bailey so effective?
Well, outside of being just a great cornerback, he uses a lot of different techniques. One of the techniques he uses, guys, is called cluing. Let me show you what I mean by that. Charles, you play the
Michael, hold
quarterback.
up real quickly.
Thanks.
Since I got the stripes on, how about I be the referee? I'll
You
start
be
the clock.
referee.
You step off the field.
Charles,
Get out of here,
playing
Steve.
quarterback. Tom, you play the wide receiver. Now, you hear all the time people talking about the quarterback took a 3-step drop, 5-step drop, or 7-step drop. And you wonder why the drops vary. Because the drops that he takes are tied into the wide receiver's route. Now, as a cornerback, cluing will be, I'm reading this triangle. I'm not just playing him man-to-man, but I'm reading this triangle. I know when he takes a 3-step drop that his route would be a quick slant, a hitch, or a quick out. Then I'll drive right on that. As soon as I see him settle at 3, I'll drive on that play right away. Now, if he takes a 5-step drop, that's usually to take the deep ball. Our 7-step drop is an intermediate route, 15-yard in, 20-yard in, things like that. Now, how do you beat it? How would you beat it? Now, if he's cluing,
simple,
reading the triangle,
simple,
and he takes a 3-step drop, and I bite that 3-step drop, jaws roll that shoulder.
Roll, reset,
boop, and now I'm
deep.
chasing.
Woo!
No. Now I'm chasing. Now, guys, I tell you, Champ's a great cornerback, but that's a dangerous technique to use when you got a guy like Chad Johnson with that kind of speed. Deion and Champ, they usually can make up the speed if they get beat deep, but not with a guy like Chad Johnson.
Chad's speed is a different kind
And
of speed.
if you do get beat, just grab it. It's a 5-yard penalty. That's what they're coached to do.
They will not take it to the house. Champ Bailey in his 6-year career has not missed a start. 86 straight starts. Plus, man can play some offense, too. Now, you heard Chad Johnson. You heard that he knows how to talk, has a mouth. Champ Bailey has one, too. You'll hear all about it and feel it. Mic'd up in soundtracks.
Let's see what we're made of.
I'm so ready to go, man. You just don't know. You just don't know. Jake got to get me that rock at least 2 times, man. At least 2. If I get at least 2, something going to happen.
Whenever we have third downs, just kind of be ready.
All right.
We may go Cinco here shortly. We're talking about it.
Oh, I'll be right there.
All right.
Cinco.
Champ Bailey is in the lineup as a wide receiver for Denver. He's in the backfield. Champ Bailey lines up in the backfield. They're all Pro Bowl corner. Plummer, they throw it in the right flat. It's Champ Bailey at the 50, at the 45. He's near a first down, diving. Champ Bailey, the corner.
Come on, ref. Hey, you know I'm going to get one. I got to get another one. Don't be worried about me, now. Hey, don't be worried about me. Hey, can I jump up and block it? Can I jump up and block it from here?
No.
But it's just like me being down there.
That's unsportsmanlike. Don't do that.
Oh, no, I ain't going to do it. You think I can jump that high?
Oh, heck yeah, you can.
23 set!
Come on! Try me like that! How they gonna try me like that? How they gonna try me like that?
Green drops the throw. Pressure comes Fadafay. He can't get him. He's got him by the jersey. Green pulls away and now avoids Pope. Green on the run, throws, passes, intercepted. Champ Bailey. And that is his first interception as a Bronco. What a play by Champ Bailey.
Give my ball! Give my ball! Give me that! Give me that!
I already had a cut there.
Did you have a cut?
From when I was about 10 years ago. Yeah, helmet came off, and I don't know if he. Now something hard hit me.
You know you're going to need that stitched after the game. So
Yeah.
come right in.
No shower.
Oh, no shower.
I got you. Go till you can't go no more.
23 set!
Boy, I know you tired because I'm about to die.
Champ Bailey. All right, fellas, 1, 2, 3. Jacked up! All right, we'll do better when the segment comes.
Yeah, we'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Monday Night Countdown is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? And in part by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And Hyatt Gold Passport. Visit goldpassport.com to join and for more details.
Football. Bears going up against the 49ers, and all you molecular genetic majors, listen up. ESPN.com, Lynn Pasquarelli is reporting that Bears will start Ohio State rookie QB and molecular genetics major Craig Krenzel at quarterback, 8:30 following prime time.
That's my major, too.
Jacked Up. Brought to you by Dodge. Log on to ESPN.com and vote for who you think got jacked up.
Let's go with the hit list for this week. Number 5 in Jacked Up is going to be Jake Delhomme completing a pass to Mike Seidman.